Let me tell you a story. So this story takes place back whenever I was in high school. In case you were wondering, this is what I looked like whenever I was in high school. I'd gotten to a point in my life where I was over 300 pounds. I was addicted to pornography, masturbation. I was probably watching porn 5 or 6 times a day. And one thing that I started to realize was I'd picked up on this pattern of overthinking a lot, always being in my own head, always second guessing myself. I knew that I had a goal of wanting to lose weight. Obviously, I didn't want to be fat. I didn't want to barely fit in my clothes. I didn't want to be pulling on my shirt to try and stretch it out every single day. But because I struggled with that overthinking, I knew that I wanted to lose weight, but I also realized that there were so many different diets out there, so many different workout routines that I could do. There were so many different gyms that I could go into. What if I go in the gym and I don't know how to use the weights, and then everybody starts laughing at me? So every time I thought about wanting to lose the weight, all of those thoughts of the overthinking and second guessing myself and getting nervous and psyching myself out would start to happen. And odds are you may be watching this video and thinking to yourself, hey, I do the exact same thing. I have all these goals and all these aspirations that I want to accomplish, and all I do is overthink. Days and weeks and months go by and I don't make any progress on my goals. How do I stop doing that? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Now, before I share the solution with you that's helped me to push past that overthinking, lose over 100 pounds, and also become a man that actually takes action on his goals, I want you to go ahead and like this video and send it to a friend who you think can learn a thing or two from this video. If you actually liked the video and you shared it with somebody, you're a real one. I appreciate you. It really does help the channel grow. So the number one reason that you're not reaching your true potential is actually broken down into 3 separate categories. So number 1 is you overthink and you don't push yourself outside of your comfort zone consistently. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're gonna have to get to a point in your life where you get sick and tired and frustrated of just procrastinating and overthinking and doubting yourself and not taking action and making progress on your goals. You're gonna have to get tired of looking in the mirror and hating the person that you see. One thing that you have to realize is that nobody around you actually cares if you stay where you're at. People are always like, yeah, I hope one day he makes it, and yeah, I hope he loses the weight, I hope he becomes more confident. This is what your friends will say to you, but nobody actually cares. If you hate where you're at, you're gonna have to be the one who makes a change. Number 2 is that you're not disciplined. A lot of people do this. They focus on the outcome or the end goal instead of focusing on the tasks that need to be completed every single day for the outcome to become a reality. The only way for you to achieve the goal is by completing all of the little tasks that you need to do every single day and doing that over and over and over again and staying consistent. For example, if I wanted to grow a social media following, I cannot just focus on the amount of followers that I want to have. I need to focus on making the content, posting daily, sending out DMs, and staying consistent with all 3 of those things every single day. There's a Bible verse that I want to share with you in 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. And in this verse, Paul is addressing the Thessalonians. And he says, if anyone is not willing to work, then they're not going to eat. And this is how things work. You don't want to get out and put in the work. You make no money that day. You can't feed your family and nobody eats. If you don't post the content, the business doesn't grow. If you don't take the sales call, you don't make any money. If you don't go in the gym and track your macros, you don't lose any weight. You have to become more disciplined. And the third and by far most important reason as to why you're not reaching your true potential is you allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Many people fall into this trap where if they don't feel like doing something, they just don't do it. So if they wake up in the morning and they don't feel that sense of internal motivation brewing within them, they just hit snooze and they do nothing. And another great story from the Bible that kind of ties all this together, the story of Jesus whenever he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. And for those of you watching who are Christian, you're already going to know this story. The night before Jesus was crucified on the cross, he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, and all of his apostles were around him, but they had all fallen asleep. So he's praying alone to God. And the main thing that Jesus is asking for while he's praying to God is he's asking him to remove this cup from me. So Jesus is basically asking God to remove all of the suffering that he's about to go through. Because in order for Jesus to fulfill the purpose of him being sent to this earth, he would have to get beaten, get spit on, get mocked, and get crucified for our sins. so that he could pay that debt and set us free from our sin. But while he's praying in the garden, Jesus is the most anxious that any person has ever been on this earth. In fact, Jesus was so anxious and so nervous that he actually started sweating out blood because of how nervous and how overwhelmed he was feeling. But even though Jesus was feeling all this stress and all this overwhelm and all this anxiety, and he didn't want to do it, he didn't allow his emotions to hold him back from fulfilling his purpose. And he got up and he did it anyway. So I tell you that story because in the same light, Christ is a great model for how you need to live as a man. Even whenever you don't feel like doing something, or you feel nervous, or you feel anxious about doing something hard, you need to do it anyway because you need to grow. You need to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. It doesn't matter how you feel. There's a YouTuber that I really look up to. His name is Hamza. If you're Christian, I would not suggest you watch his videos because he's kind of degenerate, but he has a phrase that's always stuck out to me. And it was, do the hard work, especially whenever you don't feel like it. Men of God do not allow fear and uncertainty to hold them back from fulfilling their purpose. So if you want to be a strong man that reaches his true potential, you cannot allow your emotions to hold you back. I promise you, if you push past the overthinking, you become more disciplined, and you do things that are hard, even whenever you don't feel like it, you will reach your true potential. So that is it. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that it blesses you. If you can, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I'm really enjoying making these videos for you guys. Every time I make a video, I think about my younger self and what I would tell him, because I spent so many years of my life lost, not reaching my true potential, making up excuses, overthinking, and nobody deserves to go through that cycle. But ultimately, it's up to you. So take action on your goals, implement on what you learned from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.